turned on their lights and sirens. Soon as California Highway Patrol got in between them, turned on their lights and sirens, this black car took off. And you can see it right here. It's happening live. This is a BMW. Not sure the original want on this, but I can tell you this vehicle not stopping for the California Highway Patrol, doing better than freeway speeds, probably going about 80, maybe even 90 miles an hour at some points. California Highway Patrol in pursuit right now. We're going to try to work on the wants and warrants, meaning the reason why they're chasing this guy. Right now, though, this car continues to elude officers on the freeways this evening. We're going eastbound and we're approaching the 605. You can see how fast this car is moving, using all lanes right now. An older style BMW four-door. Can see California Highway Patrol. You got 2 of their units in pursuit right now, 3 units in pursuit, and this vehicle really kind of moving out. These speeds are better than highway speeds for sure. Right now, though, we're coming up on the 605. Was using that center lane. Whoa, cutting somebody off. Southbound 605. It looks like where we're going to be going. Definitely on the transition, northbound 605. And that's one of the reasons why they always wait a few minutes there when they get on those transition roads. Hitting the brakes a little bit. California Highway Patrol right behind him this evening. Looking at the traffic, though, getting a little bit tighter. This guy's going to have some maneuvering to do if he's going to keep that distance between him and those officers. Well, you know, the law enforcement, they are very touchy on that P word, that pursuit word. Sheriff's Department was following this vehicle very closely. They were actually asking for backup. That light you're seeing right there, I believe, is still the sheriff's helicopter that came over and when it got overhead, turned on their light, was the one that's basically was watching what was going on. But they were asking for California Highway Patrol's assistance right from the get-go. So Sheriff's Department was following this vehicle earlier on. They never were in pursuit. As soon as that unit that you see right there, that California Highway Patrol, got behind it, he basically made that move, turned on those lights, and this car refused to stop. Actually kind of sped up. We kind of kept an eye on it for just a few minutes just to make sure there was no mistake what was going on here, and there wasn't any. Northbound 605 now from the 60 freeway. This car going about 90 miles an hour. We know at least the driver's in there. That's a given. But we don't know if there's anybody else inside that vehicle, and we're still trying to work on those original wants and warrants. But this guy this evening, keeping that distance between him and those officers. Yes. Looks like we're getting 10. Hard on the brakes, hard on the brakes. Whoa! Right, hard on the brakes there, changing his mind at the last moment, it looks like. I'm not sure if we have established. Yeah, we are definitely established eastbound 10 freeway after he made that rough transition there, getting into a lot of traffic. Those types of maneuvers, that's what's going to keep these officers on their toes. They are concerned about public safety. They don't want to see this vehicle hurt any innocent people. They also want to make sure that that driver is safe, even though he is being pursued. And then, of course, officer safety also is something that they're thinking about. Right now, though, those speeds very, very high. It's an older model BMW, but still, don't be fooled by that. Still would fall into a performance vehicle. But you saw with the driver, not a professional, was pushing that vehicle, skidding out there a little bit as it made that transition onto the eastbound 10. Now you can see him hard on the brakes right there. Looks like we got a little bit of traffic coming up. People trying to get out of his way this evening. We do have traffic, and a little bit thicker traffic as we're working our way eastbound 10 as we're going to be getting out in past the El Monte area. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol in force, several units out here, as we are being told, as you said, stolen vehicle. This guy driving it like he stole it. Hopefully he won't hurt anybody this evening, but this pursuit continues out here, probably going about 80, maybe 90 miles an hour. California Highway Patrol right behind this guy. Now we're going to be eastbound 10 freeway getting into the Covinas. Well, you know, Jeff, that would be extremely dangerous for everybody involved to do any kind of pit maneuver at any speeds of over, I think it's probably 30, 40 miles an hour. You know, I get those questions a lot. From other people. We understand right now, just entering the Baldwin Park area, if you're just joining us, pursuit, we're going about 95 miles an hour. I can tell you Sky 9 this evening, tracking this vehicle 95 miles an hour across the ground, so that's about his speed. California Highway Patrol, their options right now, pretty tight. They're going to be worried about officer safety. They're going to be worried about the public safety as this vehicle continues to barrel down the freeway this evening. Older style BMW, they're saying it's a stolen vehicle. What can they do to stop this? Well, right now they're just going to stay behind it. They're going to get as much information as they can about that driver, try to figure out what his wants are, or what his drive is besides that BMW this evening. This type of stuff, very, very dangerous. What they can do right now is lights and sirens, the helicopter's light. That's about all they can do, kind of warn the people ahead of them that, this is coming. Public safety is definitely is priority one for any law enforcement, especially when they're going 97 is what we're tracking this guy at this evening. Now, that's not an exact number, but I'm telling you, we're basically got this car right out our door. My pilot, John, this evening holding the helicopter, very steady out here, and we're doing 97, 98 miles an hour across the ground. That's from a GPS, so those numbers pretty solid. You can see California Highway Patrol swapping out cars right now. That's a different unit that's getting up behind him right there. Baldwin Park is where we are. We're going to be coming up, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, right, taking the emergency lane to make those moves at these high speeds, very, very dangerous, threading the needle, this car not slowing down. California Highway Patrol going to stay right behind them. We're coming up on the West Covina area right now. We got the malls up ahead. Traffic, about what you see now. It is out here. It's a little sporadic, but if somebody could get panicked, there could be something happening. Very dangerous situation for sure. We picked it up and it was already it was established on the 10 freeway out over by the USC Medical Center out in the Baldwin Park area. That was the area where we kind of picked it up. We didn't actually have the vehicle until he made that transition off the 710 onto the 60 freeway. That was the first time we actually saw the car itself. They had one unit right behind it, and that was a sheriff's department vehicle. And he did not have his lights on. They were what they were calling following. They were getting their ducks in a row. They can't just get one unit behind a car like that and turn on their lights. They need to get their backup. They have procedures that they have to follow, and they were doing what they by the book. It was on the freeways. They decided to give it to the California Highway Patrol. California Highway Patrol, happy to take it over, got between those two cars as he was supposed to, turned on those lights and sirens, and it was on and cooking. This guy really moving along out here. We're going to start that climb up here as we're going to be climbing up over the on the 10 freeway. We're going to be coming up on that steep hill, going to be getting over to the Pomona area, using that emergency lane once again. You got to think that person in that car that he just passed, you're driving along, that's the emergency lane, and you see a car passing, it's going to catch you off guard. We haven't seen anybody jerk or make those violent moves as this car has been passing him. Going up this hill, his speed's slowing down a little bit. That California Highway Patrol vehicle not really slowing down. You can see he's gaining on him right there, actually putting a little bit of closing that gap between them. Even if he does get up right on him, we're not going to see any kind of contact, especially at these speeds. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol pursuing this stolen vehicle, lights and sirens, trying to get the public aware, knowing that this is coming their direction, trying to keep the public safe, and we're watching along, hopefully nobody's going to be hurt this evening, but this older style BMW stolen is really still keeping the distance and moving along out here as we're leaving the West Covina area, and we're going to start heading out towards the 57. We've seen a lot of transitions this evening as this person's been on the freeways, but we're going to be entering the Pomona area regardless. As we start making our way down that hill, I wonder if he's going to pick up speed. Saying on. Yeah, we are past the 57. We're staying on the 10. You know, at one point we understand there were up to 6 California Highway Patrol vehicles behind it or in the area as this pursuit continues on. We're getting into the Pomona area right now, continuing on the 10 freeway this evening. We passed the 57. He did not take that interchange and basically staying with these center lanes. You know, it was kind of unusual. I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out, Jeff. I saw those lights turn on, off and on when you said that. I was like, did he turn off his lights? Yeah, and he did. Don't know what that was all about. You know, gosh, you got to kind of wonder what's going through any of these people's minds. Yeah, maybe he was, you know, and you know, you just don't know. I mean, we can't play any kind of psychiatrist at all. These guys, they are running from authorities. They've probably got a lot on their minds. Hopefully, they're paying attention to what's ahead of them in other vehicles, using that carpool lane, getting across those carpool lanes right there. Speeds have slowed down a little bit. I mean, we're probably more like 70, 80 now. We've dropped out of those 90s. That big hill might have been what slowed it down. Not really sure. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol right behind him. We're making our way out of the Pomona area. Our next big city is going to be Montclair. California Highway Patrol still out here in force. We saw a couple of those officers. We actually saw them do that swap out earlier on. That's, you know, because we're going from division to division. Like LAPD has divisions or the Sheriff's Department has divisions. California, they have the same thing. They've got a beat that they follow out here on the freeways, and when they enter or leave those areas, those officers, they swap it out, and that's what we've been watching out here. Now, we've got that vehicle right behind them there. You know, Jeff brought that question up earlier on. What are they going to do to stop this guy? You know, that's the thing. They don't really have anything that they can throw out there in front of them, especially on the freeways. We've seen sometimes when they're going a little bit slower that they'll try to use some spike strips or something like that. In this case, there's way too much other traffic out here on the freeway. So right now, it's just kind of a follow along. That guy in the back car, the stolen vehicle, is going to lead the officers where he's going. We're all going to watch. California Highway Patrol, though, they've got a job to do, and they're going to keep an eye on that. They're trying to keep the public safe, and then they're also going to try to get this guy in custody. Not an easy job at all, but this evening, continuing on, we're going to be entering the Claremont-Montclair area. This is on the 10 freeway, eastbound. This pursuit continues to elude California Highway Patrol this evening. You know, that's one of the things I've been trying to listen. We've been peeking in there every now and then. I see some sort of glow down there. At first I thought maybe he had like an iPad or something going on, but it may just be the reflection of of the lights through the car. But I definitely can make out the one guy in there. Sometimes we see him on the phone or fidgeting around. This guy seems to be driving. That's what he seems to be doing. We're going to move the helicopter around probably a little bit, try to take a peek in there. We haven't heard anything. Using that gore point once again, maybe he was thinking about getting off the freeway, maybe he wasn't paying attention. But right now, though, he's not choosing an off-ramp. You can see California Highway Patrol down there. He got 4 vehicles behind him, officers behind him. And of course, if this continues on, they're going to be swapping out sooner or later. Right now, though, you can see those officers working their way around the traffic. This car's still passing all the other cars on the freeway. So speeds definitely faster than 60, 65, probably faster than 70 right now. But this car continues just to go, go, go. Right now, though, we're moving along, getting established in the Montclair area. This is going to be eastbound 10 freeway. This person not looking in his rearview mirror much, watching what's out front, but sooner or later, this is going to have to come to an end. You know, that's pretty much the standard vehicle right now for the California Highway Patrol. Most of their vehicles are going to be those Ford Explorers. You know, if the speeds slow down, or there is an opportunity where they can block this suspect in safely, those officers will do that. We have seen them in the past. We've seen them use those vehicles. Not as you know, battering ram might be a little bit too harsh of a word, but let's just say gently tapping that suspect's vehicle into submission. They do have those heavier bumpers on there. These vehicles are designed to be roughed up a little bit as it would be. At these speeds, though, we won't see anything like that. If it does slow down to speeds of like 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, we may see some aggressive moves like that. For the most part right now, that officer that's right behind him is probably trying to close that gap just to stay close enough if this suspect does make a quick move, that they're able to make that quick move as well. And also the lights and sirens. That's what they're doing. That's the only thing they have right now to warn the people in the area that something's coming through, that they've got emergency vehicles, they have a situation moving across the freeway out here. So that's why they're right there in force. We're kind of watching those 2 vehicles right there, wondering if they're going to do a swap out. But right now, though, this suspect just continues to drive. You know, a lot of times these are last moments of freedom for these guys, so they're just going to drive it out. Just drag it out as long as they can. You know, they've got. Well, how often have we ever seen somebody get away? You know, admittedly we have, but for the most part, even if they did get away for the moment, they always get caught later on. Eventually, you know, but some of these cars, you know, if they got a full tank of gas, they could go hundreds of miles. Hopefully it won't be one of those type of pursuits right now, though. This car's still moving along at a pretty good clip. We're going to be tracking him right now. I got to do some button pushing. We're going 77 miles an hour across the ground right now. So he's probably going about 70, about that as well. California Highway Patrol right behind him there. It looks like we might be moving over here. Nope, change his mind again. But it does seem like maybe he's looking for an off-ramp out here in the Montclair area. I'm sorry, the Claremont area. I'm going to get an exact location for you. And if he does get off Upland, we're in Upland already. Look how does time fly when you're chasing a stolen vehicle. We're in the Upland area, eastbound 10 freeway. If he gets off the freeway, we'll get you that off-ramp right away. No. Vineland, Vineyard. We are, we're here. Yeah, we're right in that area right now. Archibald is the next major off ramp. We used the mighty lens out here on Sky 9 this evening, trying to get a real close look in there. It does appear just to be the driver. There could be somebody in the back seat, but probably not very likely. Does seem to be just the driver, and maybe one of the reasons, and that's all we got right now is maybe one of the reasons those lights are coming off and on is it seems like he's turning the dome light off and on. Maybe he's, like you said, unfamiliar with the car, trying to turn the lights on. That glow definitely was at least a smartphone. We did see that glow earlier on when we got that real doubled up shot that we've got right now. We could see it momentarily inside the vehicle, him using that phone, or I don't know if he's using it to contact somebody or possibly he's using it for navigation, but that might be what's going on right there. That's the reason why we got this super tight shot right now. He does seem to be favoring those right-hand lanes, so that kind of makes you wonder if he's going to be trying to get off the freeway, or perhaps he's looking for something out here this evening. Definitely going to be in the in the Ontario area right now. We've just passed Archibald. I believe the next major we're coming up on is going to be Haven. But he does seem to be, he was in the middle over there. Now he's, he was on the right-hand side. Looked like he was going to try to get off the freeway. Now he's kind of using those middle lanes. California Highway Patrol right behind him right there. That lights on-off thing, that's kind of odd. And now I just kind of realizing, you know, the traffic's starting to lighten up a little bit. This car's starting to slow down a little bit. Maybe something's going on with that vehicle, but right now this guy's still trying to drive, still trying to keep that distance. California Highway Patrol, oddly enough, right there behind him, and you know, they're going to stay there until this person is in custody and that car has come to a complete stop. Coming up on the 15. Well, right now it's been wide open, and one of the reasons is because California Highway Patrol is holding a little bit of traffic. We're going to be approaching the 15 freeway. We're going to cross that right there, and that's one of the reasons why I got this wide shot. You can see other officers from the California Highway Patrol. They have the actual on-ramp blocked right there. The 15 is coming up, so we're unclear if he's going to try to take that 15, but it also gives makes the roadway a lot less hectic. a lot less other vehicles on the road there. That might open up the possibilities for some aggressive moves from the California Highway Patrol vehicles, because they don't have to worry that much about the public in their way or around this vehicle. It's coming up here on the 15. It looks like we're going to be taking the 15. We'll see which way it goes here in just a moment. But now it does look like, whoop, changing his mind. Whoa! Going across that gore point right there, and the officers from the California Highway Patrol right there behind him. So, and now looks like we're going to try something else right here. So maybe this is going to be the southbound 15. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but that was a little bit of an odd move right there, seeing if he's going to be taking this other one. Car, though, really seems to be slowing it down more and more and more. It might just be an illusion, but I really think that car is not moving as fast as it used to be. So, is that a mechanical reason? Is that something other than that? I don't know. But that move that he just made right there is putting him back in with some traffic. So if they had that window of opportunity, California Highway Patrol, that window of opportunity is probably closing right now, because they have other vehicles back there on the roadway. This car speeding up a little bit now, and I'll get you a direction of travel here in just a second. Southbound on 15. Yes. Yes. Very few indeed, and the public safety, that's their number one. But right now, though, southbound 15, I've been getting that question quite a bit. Everybody seems to know it is the southbound 15 freeway. We're going to be coming up on the 60, so we've seen sometimes, they make these big, huge blocks, and we might be working our way back towards where he started. Gosh only knows. Right now, though, I can tell you southbound 15 freeway going to be still technically in the Ontario area. Looks like he's choosing some of those middle lanes again. The speeds, though, not as fast as before. That's the only thing I can say for sure. Really kind of keeping that just about the freeway speeds. The Highway Patrol, they are not going to be able to do that pit maneuver at these speeds, especially with that vehicle. Even if the freeway is empty, it's just too dangerous for the officers and also that suspect. That car could spin out, could hit that center divider. Gosh only knows. I mean, we could go on and on. But right now, though, this car continues to keep that distance between itself and those officers. He was driving it like he stole it. We saw him hit those gore points, come off that, go across that roadway, dirt back onto the freeway. But right now, though, speed's really kind of subdued for what we saw earlier on. Southbound 15, we're going to be coming up here on the 60, but it looks like he's really kind of favoring that those left-hand lanes, but we've seen him make those crazy moves in the past, so we'll keep an eye on it. Right now, though, still approaching the 60. Right now, staying on that 15 south. Well, right now, this guy, because of his slower speeds, this isn't the California Highway Patrol blocking on-ramps onto the freeway. We did see that earlier on, but this is actually just this vehicle driving a little bit slower than the freeway speeds. That's what's creating that big cushion between that vehicle and other vehicles on the roadway. California Highway Patrol, though, they are not just going, oh, hey, look, he's obeying the law right now, we're just going to let this go. Not a chance. That's not going to happen ever. Right now, though, he's continuing on. We're going to be going southbound on the 15 freeway, going to be getting into the Eastvale area. Just kind of think Chino. I know Eastvale, if you live in that neighborhood, That's a great place to be, but it's not one of those very popular names when you say it out loud. Right now, though, we're continuing on here. I'm going to get you some kind of speeds, at least what we're doing here in the helicopter this evening, kind of just tracking along. 75 miles an hour is what we got, so maybe he's going about 70, 75, but that's still creating that cushion. There's a lot less cars around him. The California Highway Patrol, if the vehicle does start to slow down and maybe get to like the 30-mile-an-hour range, we might see some of those aggressive moves. We might try to see them bump that rear end, spin that car around. Other than that, there's an opportunity that with this kind of cushion that they might be able to pull something out of their bag of tricks. And you know, California Highway Patrol, law enforcement, they've got quite a bit. Jeff, those lights are off again, but the marker lights are on, so it's kind of interesting. You got to wonder what's going on, and then you can see that cell phone lighting up inside there. Lights are back on again. Don't know what that's all about. Well, maybe someday we'll figure it out, but right now, this car eluding officers, not much of a joke here at all. This is a criminal, the stolen vehicle, refusing to stop for law enforcement this evening. Started way out in the Boyle Heights area. Right now, we're still going to be southbound on the 15 freeway, getting into the Chino area. So it's been a long drive. Nobody's been injured, but this car continues just to keep going on these freeways this evening. Copy. You know, Jeff, I always kind of wonder what the allure is, of watching one of these chases, and I think that's part of it, is nobody really knows how this is going to end. Nobody has any idea where this is going to go, how this is going to come to an end, what desperate moves this person's going to do. You know, I've actually had a friend of mine one time tell me, you know why we love these pursuits? It's the good and evil. It's that battle between good and evil. I think that's a little too deep for this right now. This is just a guy in a stolen car that just doesn't want to stop. But we don't know where he's going. We don't know how it's going to end. And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the lures that the people watch. And what is law enforcement going to do? How are they going to stop this? Well, we've seen them in the end sometimes make these crazy moves. We've watched them. They get off an off ramp and then they make those aggressive moves out here. I've been corrected several times in my ear. I was saying Chino. I know Chino Airport's out here, but we are actually getting into the Corona area. The next big freeway is going to be the 91. At these slower speeds, it's going to be a little bit longer before we get there. That car, though, continues to go. Got to wonder, how much gas does he have? California Highway Patrol, gas is not an issue. One of those cars gets low, they get out of their jurisdiction, they're going to go ahead and somebody else is going to take over. So they're going to stay behind this guy, regardless. He's in there this evening. He's flipping his lights on and off. He's driving along. Wonder if he's got the cruise control going, what he's listening to. Hopefully it's KNX. But, you know, right now, this guy just kind of hugging that right lane and makes you wonder, maybe an off-ramp coming up as we're getting into the Corona area. But, you know, it just continues to go out here this evening. A lot less traffic, but still the same old scene. This guy's just driving, and California Highway Patrol, right there in force, they want this guy to stop. Okay. No. No, we were getting close. I'm wondering, does he have a flat tire? All right, we're getting off. You know, we're wondering the same thing. That was just a discussion in here. We're going to get it. We're getting off the freeway. We're going to get you an off ramp here in just a second. Makes you kind of wonder. I saw something roll. I saw something roll across the roadway. Makes you wonder if the front tire is not completely gone. He's on the rim. It is the front driver's tire, completely on the rim right now. This car, you know, it's probably a 5 Series. Can't guarantee that right now. 5 Series BMW. You know, it's a pretty solid vehicle, but with 3 tires, maybe not so solid. Right now, though, you can see he's down to 1 rim right there on the front. Looks like he's driving around. It looks like this may be coming to an end, pulling into a gas station. We've seen this in the past where they've kind of just driven around out here. If he doesn't do anything too incredibly aggressive, this might just come to an end. But he's driving very, very slowly out here. We see some other vehicles that appear to be officer law enforcement type vehicles. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Making that big U-turn right now. Worried. The reason why I'm getting a little bit wider is I'm worried that he's going to be approaching a California Highway Patrol vehicle. Right now, though, this would be the time when California Highway Patrol would jump out there and use that pit maneuver. But it does look like he's just kind of driving around, choosing these weird, parking lot areas out here, just kind of driving very slowly. California Highway Patrol, there we go, and just coming to a stop out here at a Wiener Schnitzel. Hands out right there. You can see the officers just telling him, shut it down, shut it down. An unusual end to this, but it's not over yet. We're going to move the Sky 9 around just a little bit out here, but looks like it's coming to an end as in the Norco area off the 15 freeway. Copy, thank you. Nobody in the car. Simon Desk, looking to you for longing eyes. You want me to get a street name for you guys? No, they want to know the street names. Definitely 6th Street, I can make that out. Hang on, let me see if I can find something. 6th Street and the 15 freeway. It's the Wiener Schnitzel. Yay! Mark came back and we got it pursued. John got them all. Norco. Copy, thank you. If you guys are watching on the internet, thank you for joining us and watching. You could have watched it live on television. It was maybe even better quality. But right now, this suspect stopped at the Der Wiener Schnitzel, didn't get a Der Wiener Schnitzel. He did get taken into custody. I'm kind of wondering what all that stuff was that fell out of his lap when he got out of the car. You can see the officers down there looking at it as well. A lot of time these suspects, you know, it makes you kind of wonder they might have other problems besides stealing the vehicle, maybe some kind of let's just leave it at other problems. So hopefully this person now in custody, like Jeff said, going to be spending the beginning of 2017 probably behind bars, but maybe this is going to be a fresh start for him. Right now, though, the vehicle did lose a tire, probably on one of those crazy transitions that he had earlier on. California Highway Patrol, they got this guy in the end, but he basically just kind of drove himself into this corner right here at the Der Wiener Schnitzel, 6th Street, right off the 15 freeway. City of Norco is where it all came to an end. One person in custody. We saw that live. California Highway Patrol right now got a lot of paperwork to do. One of these units probably has to drive all the way back out to the East LA area. And, of course, if that car, well, they said it was stolen, well, somebody's going to get their car back.